Our soils are dependent on having sufficient carbon as organic matter or humus or whatever we call it in our soil. It improves the soil structure. It improves the biological processes in the soil, and in turn it enhances the yield. So in all sort of ways that is beneficial. In fact, when we've got intensive cereal production and where we also take away that straw, we deplete our soils for carbon, and this has happened in Denmark. In the eastern part of Denmark, where we're growing a lot of cereals and has been doing that for centuries actually, and where recently most of the straw is also taken away and incinerated in the combined heat and power plants, those soils are getting critically low in carbon. And we are now speculating, can we actually sustain removing straw, or do we need to keep the straw back? But all sorts of carbon inputs is of course beneficial for the soil fertility and the soil structure. Looking at the residues we get from plants, roots or straw or whatever, only about 15% or so is left after a 20-30 years time span. But if we input manure or other sort of digested wastes or residues, it's more like 20 to 30% that remains there in the soil after 30 to 40 years. So actually taking some of our city wastes also back to our soil will will improve the soil carbon, improve the structure and so on. So maybe that would also allow us to take a bit more straw out for other sorts of energy purposes. But we need to maintain the fertility of our soils.